Recently, a curious trend has emerged on YouTube in Singapore. Videos about how to emigrate out of Singapore. From guides on moving to Japan or Australia, to vlogs of Singaporean families resettling in New Zealand. These aren't fringe cases, they're getting significant attention. It's ironic because for decades, Singapore has been the place people from around the world aspired to move to. Now, more locals are dreaming about life elsewhere. This led us to take a closer look at the trend from a different perspective. Why are Singaporeans choosing to leave one of the world's most advanced city-states, while at the same time foreigners are lining up to get in? It's early morning in Singapore. Aaron, a 34-year-old Singaporean, wakes quietly before dawn. He carefully rises from bed, trying not to disturb his wife or the toddler asleep beside them. There's no separate bedroom for their son, just a mattress on the floor, a nightly fixture in their compact 40-year-old 3-room HDB flat, which he shares with his wife, child, and elderly mother. Their flat, under 70 square meters, is a tight fit. The living room doubles as a dining space, a play area, and his wife's home workspace. Aaron is part of the over 80% of Singaporeans who live in HDB flats, public housing built by the government, once meant to offer affordable shelter to the masses. Aaron and his wife applied for a build-to-order or BTO flat, newer public housing units offered by the government at subsidized prices. For most young couples in Singapore, a BTO is the main path to owning their first home, offering modern layouts and better facilities compared to older HDB flats. But it's been 2 years. Their application still shows pending. They're not alone. Post-pandemic, demand has surged, and young couples often wait years for their first home. In the meantime, they make do. Around 7 a.m., Aaron steps out and heads to the MRT. The station is packed. The train more so. Aaron squeezes in, surrounded by silence and glowing screens. It's a 50-minute ride across 3 MRT lines, a daily ritual. On the train, he checks his phone. He's browsing car listings, something small and practical. It would make life easier with a kid and an aging parent. A basic Toyota Yaris, 150,000 Singapore dollars, thanks to Singapore's COE system, or Certificate of Entitlement. Here, owning a car means bidding for the right to drive it, often costing more than the car itself. The Yaris costs more in Singapore than a house in some other countries. Aaron closes the tab. By 9 a.m., Aaron reaches his desk at the logistics firm where he's worked for 6 years. The pay is steady, the benefits average, but the workload never seems to end. Every day feels like a race against deadlines. Official hours end at 5:30. Aaron stays till 7:30, not by choice, but for the overtime pay. That's common here. The average Singaporean work week is 43 hours, among the longest globally. By the time he gets home, he's exhausted. Dinner is quiet. His mother watches TV. His son is asleep. His wife is still working at the corner of the dining table. At dinner, a notification lights up on Aaron's phone. Salary credited, 5,200 Singapore dollars. For a brief moment, he feels relieved, but the feeling doesn't last. Electricity bills have gone up again. Groceries cost nearly twice what they did a year ago. Add to that childcare fees, medical expenses for his mother, transport costs, and the occasional repair for their aging flat. Every month, it feels like something new eats away at what's left of Aaron's paycheck. And no matter how hard he works, the numbers never quite add up. And then there's the CPF, the Central Provident Fund, a mandatory savings scheme that deducts a portion of Aaron's salary to cover his current housing, retirement, and healthcare. It's savings, yes, but for Aaron, it also means less cash in hand each month. By the time Aaron does the math, there's little left. No buffer, no extras, just survival. He's not alone. According to a recent poll, 72% of Singaporeans now list cost of living as their #1 national concern. It's no surprise that nearly 90% of Singaporeans report feeling daily stress. And Aaron feels it too. Finally, it's bedtime. Aaron lies down beside his wife and son. Before sleep, he scrolls through YouTube on his phone. The algorithm feeds him new videos. Why we chose to leave Singapore with our 2 kids. From Singapore to New Zealand, comparing life. He watches quietly. The stories sound familiar. People chasing space, balance, and a slower pace. Backyard barbecues, nature trails, a break from the grind. Aaron listens, eyes wide, and for the first time he wonders, could that be him? He's not the only one asking that question. The Singaporean diaspora is growing. As of 2019, over 340,000 Singaporeans were living overseas, nearly 1 in 10 citizens. Many are in Malaysia, Australia, the UK, and the US. Some are retirees. Others are middle-class families like Aaron's, seeking a different way of life. In the past, it was usually the top students and professionals who left, but now it's broader. It's people who simply want more space, more time, more freedom. And while some Singaporeans are quietly slipping out, others are flooding in. That's the paradox. One group looking for an escape, another arrives to chase the dream. To much of the world, Singapore looks like the future. Clean, safe, efficient, and rich. It's a tiny island with outsized opportunity, and that's exactly why people are flocking here. Let's start with money. Singapore is a financial haven. Income taxes are low, just 24% at the highest bracket, and most professionals pay far less. Capital gains, not taxed. Inheritance, also not taxed. For entrepreneurs and investors, corporate tax is a flat 17%, often reduced with incentives. Compared to high-tax countries, it's a no-brainer. This is a place where wealth not only grows, it stays with you. In 2024 alone, 3,500 new millionaires moved in. Family offices catering to ultra-wealthy foreigners have doubled since 2020. Business thrives too. Ranked the world's most business-friendly environment for over a decade, Singapore offers fast company registration, strong legal protections, and virtually zero corruption. That stability draws in Fortune 500s and startups alike. Then there's quality of life. Singapore is one of the safest countries on earth. Public transport is world-class. Education and healthcare consistently top global rankings. The Singapore dollar is strong and stable, making it especially attractive for skilled professionals from developing countries, where salaries here can be 5 to 10 times higher. It's no surprise that expat compensation packages have surged, even as other cities like Hong Kong decline. All these factors and more make Singapore a highly attractive destination for foreigners seeking opportunity, and the numbers show it. As of June 2025, Singapore's total population hit 6.11 million, but only 3.66 million are Singapore citizens. The rest, about 540,000, are permanent residents, while 1.91 million are non-residents. They come from everywhere: Malaysia, India, China, the Philippines, even Europe and the US. It's also worth noting that many of these non-residents are migrant construction workers and domestic helpers, groups that Singapore heavily depends on. The construction workers, in particular, are literally building the nation's skyline, often for modest pay. Meanwhile, domestic helpers keep many households running smoothly, caring for children and the elderly. Take, for example, a mid-level accountant from India. In cities like Delhi or Chennai, such a professional might earn around 600 to 800 Singapore dollars a month. But in Singapore, that same accountant could earn 4,000 to 6,000 Singapore dollars monthly, depending on experience and qualifications, a 5 to 7-fold increase. Beyond the higher pay, the move brings stability and prestige. Many bring their families over, with children entering reputable schools and spouses finding work opportunities too. If they had the chance, they'd probably bring their entire village along. That's how appealing life in Singapore seems. For professionals like this, moving here isn't just a career upgrade, it's a complete transformation in quality of life. Then there is another common trend. Take the example of a Malaysian warehouse worker earning 2,500 Singapore dollars a month in Singapore. Converted to ringgit, that's around 8,200 ringgit today. Most of these workers commute daily, crossing the causeway each morning and returning home in the evening. While the travel is tiring, the financial payoff is worth it. Most Most own landed houses, drive cars, and live comfortably, something out of reach for many earning the same in Singapore. But not all newcomers are top talent. In recent years, hundreds have been caught using fake degrees to get jobs. Some are willing to cheat the system just to gain entry. This all shows how powerful Singapore's global reputation has become. A tiny island, yet one that represents stability, prosperity, and opportunity to millions who dream of starting a new life under its skyline. The quiet exchange of people, Singaporeans wanting to leave while foreigners arrive, reveals something deeper about the nation's future. It's not just migration, it's a reflection of how Singapore's model of success now depends on global movement. Some critics argue that the influx of foreigners has made daily life tougher for the average Singaporean. As more people compete for the same housing, transport, and services, prices naturally rise, from rent to hawker food. Beyond that, many feel that foreigners are increasingly taking up jobs that once went to Singaporeans, often willing to accept lower pay or longer hours. The result is growing frustration. When living costs keep climbing and the city feels increasingly crowded, it's easy to see why some Singaporeans start to dream of quieter, more affordable lives abroad. In response, the government has made its position clear. Singapore must keep its doors open to foreigners, not out of preference, but out of necessity. With one of the lowest fertility rates in the world, 0.97, in 2024, and a rapidly aging population, nearly 1 in 5 Singaporeans is now over 65. The country simply doesn't have enough young citizens to sustain its workforce or economy. Without foreign workers and professionals, Singapore's economic engine would slow, tax revenues would shrink, and the costs of caring for an older population would surge. In other words, immigration isn't optional, it's survival. In conclusion, Singapore now stands at a crossroads. As the city grows denser and more diverse, questions of identity and belonging will only deepen. With limited land and a compact population, every policy change, demographic shift, and cultural tension is felt immediately. The challenge ahead is balance, staying open to the world while remaining unmistakably Singaporean. After all, Singapore's success was built on openness, attracting talent, investment, and ideas from everywhere. But that same openness must now come with a renewed focus on those who call this island home.